The Ghetto Free Press reports from Lowndes County School Board of Education grounds. In Valdosta-Lowndes County, Georgia, January 1st, 2023, at 11:54 a.m. Hello world. This 9-year restriction by the Lowndes County school system against me was for nothing more than publishing truth videos about Kendrick K.J. Johnson's death. This wicked, corrupt, and unjust Lowndes County school system refused to remove me in writing from an illegal/unjust bogus 10-year criminal trespass for not violating any law or anything else. Special note, Lowndes County District Attorney Brad Shelley along with former District Attorney David Miller, local judges, members of law enforcement, city, county commissioners, local professors, news outlets, and other state leaders have not pushed a pen to assist me in removing this bogus and perhaps racist 9-year criminal trespass against me following the death of Kendrick Johnson. The big question, why did this young man die and who covered it up? Who botched the case, lost body parts without any accountability plus much more? Please understand that the wicked that refuse to speak up for G.B.R. God will judge IAW divine and holy scriptures. St. John 8:32, Galatians 6:7. G.B.R.
Greetings. Today is January the 1st, 2023. I'm standing in front of the entranceway to Lowndes County school system. January the 11th, 2013, a student by the name of Kendrick K.J. Johnson was found dead on the school campus right here, for reasons yet to be determined. I talked to the father a few days ago, and the family is just concerned today as they were yesterday. The people here in Valdosta and Lowndes County seem too unconcerned. But the father, the mother, the grandmother, grandfather, along with certain of us, believe that something very strange happened to that young man. And the strange thing about all of this, without getting too much into the case itself because it's all over the internet, but the Lowndes County school system are above wicked. Do you not know that following that young man's death, the bogus criminal trespass that they issued on me, apparently because I was publishing videos concerning that young man's death. But who cares? No news media outlet have published anything about this bogus criminal trespass. The Valdosta Daily Times, WCTV, CBS, NBC, not a single one of them have said one word about what the Lowndes County school system did to this retired military veteran. Apparently because they didn't want me on this campus publishing the truth that maybe those that were in the clique and among the slicks would not publish. Some of you may say, Ryan, why would you make such a statement? It is because I have documented proof that many newsworthy incidents took place here, but never reported to the general public. But I did. Why, do you not know that before they put me under a criminal trespass, that I was called by parents to Pine Grove Middle School when those parents' 13-year-old daughter had been hog-tied, thrown to the floor, and hog-tied like she was some murderer or criminal. That's right. That was at Pine Grove Middle School under the Lowndes County racist school system. They have a long history of unfairness. I mean, a long history. I could tell you about G.B.R. Middle School. When a young man drew pictures and wrote a note about an educator at G.B.R. Middle School over a decade ago, 2 decades, perhaps 3, to show you how wicked the Lowndes County school system and the news media refusal to publish the news. That young man drew a picture and talked about he was going to murder a white educator at G.B.R. Middle School. This young black boy talked about how he was going to chop the body up in little small pieces and throw it out for the alligators to eat. He was a good son, man. So when the father of that child was called in by the leaders of G.B.R. Middle School, by the principal, I know her name, but when the father investigated, that young man said that an educator was racist. And the father said, "Can you prove it?" The young man told his daddy, "Everybody knows she's a racist, don't like black folk." The daddy, being who he was, he asked a question. Who else knows about it? He said, "Daddy, everybody know about it." The dad asked him, said, "Can you point any other people out?" The father, mother, and the children rode around the countryside and listened to the children and took statements about that educator. To make a long story short, this is why that young man threatened an educator. Now here again, some of those students that were going to G.B.R. Middle School had parents stationed at Moody Air Force Base. That's right. News media didn't publish that. Valdosta Daily Times didn't publish that. TV station and radio didn't publish that. Just like they refused to publish about the 14-year-old girl when the mother and father went to the news media, handed them printed packages of what took place. And when they say she struck an educator, she got statements from the educator saying it never took place. Yet she had to go before Judge Ellaby. None of that was news here in Valdosta in Lowndes County. Lowndes County been getting away with so much dirt. On the 3rd of this month, there will be a press conference, international, I think, a former CNN employee. They're going to talk about this place. See, nobody want to talk about Valdosta because if you work here or if you retired here and got children attached to some halfway job, they could lose their job simply by a phone call from those perhaps in the news media or those in the clique and among the slicks. I know what I'm talking about. And so that educator was found at fault. She was reprimanded. I could call her name, but I won't do it. But I want you to know the people that I'm talking about are all ready for CNN, MSNBC, ABC, if they had the guts and the love about black people and what they must go through here. They would have already called these people in to tell their story. Wait a minute. I haven't finished yet. Do you not know, back in the 70s, there was a young airman at Moody that they say hung himself in the Big 6 jail out there. And when I came back to be stationed at Moody Air Force Base, and an individual, I could call his name, but I won't. He retired, but I got his name. He don't live here. He live out west. But he said to me, George, that young man back in the 70s did not take his life. I got the article at the house that he sent me, and it said that he took his own life and he hung himself with his belt. And the people that was in his cell didn't even know he had hung himself. This is in the article. But this individual called me and said, Ryans, he was my roommate. He did not take his own life. They killed him. And that was many years ago from the time he died. But he say, for all these years, he been under stress. That's right. He say he was stressed out because he wanted to tell the truth about the matter. The mother lived in North Carolina. But until this day, no justice have been received. No news media to talk about that. But I talk about it. It's strange, y'all. It's very strange how God called his real servants to step out and get on the back of their ass and ride into Jerusalem to expose the truth and help educate the people. And the people we educate, they don't give a damn about you. Now, wait a minute. I'm not being negative. But how many of you who have been watching my work since March of 1975 have shared my work with your family members, friends, and enemies? Jesus said, if you love me, you would keep and obey my commandments. And what is that? Love you one another. Now, I was in Atlanta, Georgia, when Secretary of State Brian P. Kemp and Governor Nathan Deal invaded Brooks County and arrested 10 outstanding professional black folk, the most respected families down there, on bogus voter fraud charges. Because they didn't want and they didn't like the results of the election, wherein blacks for the first time in history became the majority on the Brooks County Board of Education. To make a long story short, all of them was lies too. News media didn't give them the cover they needed and deserved. Her first trial, Lula Smart, the first trial that was tried, ended up in a mistrial. The second trial ended up in a mistrial. The third trial, they cleared her of all charges and later dropped all the charges against the rest of them, but not before one of them, a lupus patient, died from the stress and the pressure brought upon her and them by Secretary Brian P. Kemp, Governor Nathan Deal, who removed 3 of them from the Board of Education for over a year. And he later had to reinstall them and put them back on the board. And when that third case lasted 19 days, do you not know that no South Georgia news media was there to cover that like I did? And do you not know that when Lula Smart was found not guilty, they called the local newspapers and TV stations, and apparently because it didn't end up like they wanted it, they wouldn't even come. They wouldn't even come to a press conference. That's right. That's right. These wicked people, the wicked, have always turned their backs on the righteous. But I thank the God of my grandmother, who believed in Galatians 6 and 7, for God, Galatians 6 and 7. For God is not mocked, or you're going to reap what you sow. I'm going to leave y'all now. I just wanted you all to know that this is the first day of January of 2023. And this is, believe it or not, the month that that young man was found dead here at Lowndes County school system. And that they put me on the bogus criminal trespass. And the so-called attorney who went past the bar, that's right, Attorney Turner, I think his name, haven't dealt with this. But this is not over, because until they remove me in writing, there is no statute of limitation on this, because it's still in effect. And one day they're going to find it somewhere in law to remove me in writing. And that's all I ever asked, that they remove me in writing. But they refuse to do it because they know that racism is so deep here in Valdosta. They know that the good old boy system is so deep here in Valdosta until the judges more than likely will rule in their favor. Brother Ryan, what you mean by that? What proof do you have to back up what you say? Well, they got me on a criminal trespass because they know I have followed the KJKs like no other person in the state of Georgia and the United States of America have done on the local level. And I sat in the courtroom and we witnessed Judge Richard Porter III sleep while listening to that case and ended up ruling against the KJ family for over $300,000. You hear what I say? The Judge Richard Porter III was sleeping while on the bench. What did the judicial qualification system say about that? What did the judicial qualification say about the judge allowing lawyers to give themselves their own oath in the courtroom? I'd never seen that done before, but I saw it in Valdosta-Lowndes County. Those white attorneys raised their hand and say, I most solemnly swear to myself that I'm telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And I look, people in the courtroom say, what in the hell is this? When they saw the Judge Richard Porter III sleeping and how the judge was allowing those white attorneys to talk to Shaveen King, people looked around and said, where in the hell are we at? WSB out of Atlanta was there. All your local TV stations was there. But they wouldn't let us in the courtroom. That's right. They didn't want y'all to see that. So Bobby Worthy, Justice League United president, when he came out, the NAACP district coordinator, Larry O'Hara, and other people came and said it on camera. The mother, Jackie Johnson, saw it. The daddy saw it. The judge saw it. I mean, not the judge, the attorney, Shaveen King, we all saw it. Was that published in the Valdosta Daily Times? You will find it all over my site. Just Google Richard Porter III sleeping on the bench. Hello, somebody. You see, the Bible says that my people, I'm talking about God's people, I'm not talking about Satan's people. I'm not talking about those who dip in a building or in a mosque, in a synagogue, in a church or a temple or a cathedral. I'm not talking about those who dip and hide behind the holy name of God, Jehovah. But they dip. They duplicate Jesus. They imitate God. And they placate the holy prophets, priests, and kings who travel that great land of holy divine. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I got very little respect for people who say they love Jesus, who say they love Muhammad, say they love Buddha, say they love the rest of those deities that we all have created, in many cases that God don't know nothing about, especially when you fail to love your neighbor as you love yourself. And I'm not down in them, please understand that, because I used to be the same way. I wouldn't stand up for nothing. All I did was clap my hands in a building of worship, holler hallelujah, hallelujah, and that was it. Until one day, I say I'm not going to play the fool no more. That's why last night I turned my phone off about 9 o'clock. And I apologize to all of you all who wanted to say to me, Happy New Year, and these are my last words for the year. I don't deal in game plan. I don't need that. What I need is men and women who say they know what love is all about and exemplify that love by standing up for what is right. I've been across the state of Georgia to 20 cities about Brian P. Kemp beating up on black, mostly women. And believe it or not, most people will not even stand up for these people. And it is indeed a disgrace. But my God, I'm not talking about your God now, but my God refused to let me just dip while those black women caught hell facing jail and prison time. And that's why I did what I did. That's why I was trying and still talking about the KJ case. So a lot of people done shut up about it. I never stopped talking about it. Why, Bro Rhyme? Because St. Matthew 24:35 says, heaven and earth would pass away, but my word gonna stand forever. What does that mean? That means the truth is coming out. Some of these children eventually gonna tell the truth. Now I believe that. They lynched Mary Turner in May of 1918 over there in Brooks County and Lowndes County because it extended in both of the counties when they killed 13 to 25 blacks, and nobody have been brought before the bar of justice in Georgia until this day, although one of the white mob members sent names to Governor then Dorsey, I think his name was, and he didn't do a damn thing about it. Because the ways of the wicked have always been among us. But in the end, what some people don't know, that in the end, truth, right, and justice will win. Again, today is January the 1st, 2023, and I am blessed by God to be able to speak the truth to you because I love y'all just that much. And you can rest assured that there's one thing that I will never do. What is that, Brother Rhymes? What is that? What is it that you will never do? I will never turn my back on you. I'll say again, I will never turn my back on the household of faith. You who really love God, you who don't play the religious games that you see others play. I respect you, but I don't give a damn for the ones who will not stand up. God has never used a coward in his program. Never! That's why the book says to make your calling and election sure. For when you do that, you will never fail. And not only that, he said many are called, but few are chosen. And I haven't finished yet. Then another New Testament scripture says, make your calling and election sure. For when you do that, you will never fail. So at my level, not your level, but at my level of understanding, just being called is not all of it. Just being chosen is not all of it. There are some of us that were elected. That's why Jesus said in the volume of Sacred Law, if it was possible, Satan would fool and deceive even the very elect of God. There are some of us you can't fool no time. Now I want you all to have a nice day. And above all, stop lying to people. Stop making all these New Year's resolutions. Just live the best you can. A lot of these big old TV evangelists, they got airplanes and got train stations and all of this. If they can get to heaven with what they are doing and molesting little children, even all the way up to the Pope of Rome and the priests, if they can get to heaven by molesting little boys and girls, nothing done about it within the movement. And then, if I don't make it with what I've done to try to help and to live upright, if I get there and I see them there, because I'm a man of truth, I will tell God, I don't want to be here. send me to the other place, because this can't be the heaven that my grandmother told me about. That's right. Only the righteous shall see God. Y'all have a nice day. I know this may be hard for some of y'all, but see, I understand, because I used to be just like you. That's right. I just dipped. Wouldn't stand up for nothing, just dipped. Wouldn't get involved in federal contracts and paving of streets, and so our children could get some of this money that all these white parents get, that can give to their children, and send their children off to schools and make fun out of you, and like the Indians come up, set up convenience stores in your community, and you just give them your money. They take that money and send it back to India for their children. Don't down them, but imitate them. You set up convenience stores in their community. I was riding through Brooks County yesterday, where I used to be as a child. And I was riding with someone, and they asked me a question. They say, "What's the matter, Ryan? What's on your mind?" I said, "Well, I'm thinking about how black folk worked out here on these white folks' plantations, and how we worked in their watermelons and cropped their tobacco and picked their peas, picked their cotton, slopped their hogs, slaughtered their cattle, chopped their cotton and peanuts and put them on stacks, made millions of dollars for them, while we were relegated to poverty. And then after we get paid on Friday, we go right down to the white man's store and give him all his money back." I was thinking about that yesterday. If we don't wake up, you guys, if y'all don't wake up, and you at least ought to speak the truth. You at least ought to vote. And I say again, I want to thank the publisher and producer of the new movie I called Vigilante. I'm featured in that movie. You see, the local news media ignore me, but the outside news media come in, they investigate me, put me in movies, send me to the home office of Walmart Stores Incorporated in Bentonville, send me to New Orleans, send me to Washington, D.C., send me to Atlanta, send me to Omaha, Nebraska, and other places. But the local news media, they won't even publish my story. That's right. 11 Alive Action News came down and interviewed me about Olivia Coley-Pearson right over there in Douglas. Man, they done treated these people so bad. I'm not going to get into that, but I want to. You'll see a trailer if you Google Greg Palace. You'll see Olivia Coley-Pearson in a trailer. You'll see me in a trailer. And I'm in the movie. I went to Quitman. I talked about Nigger Branch. I talked about the Mary Turner lynching. I talked about a lot of stuff. Now, they ain't got but a few seconds of me in there. But yet, all white people are not devil worshipers. You got some good white people. You can't find many of them, but you'll find some. Greg Palace and David Ambrose, Michael Steele, speaking in this movie. Black Lives Matter leader, Latasha, all in this movie. And by the way, you can watch this movie. Today is the last day that you can watch it online. Last night I stayed up and I published it all over Facebook, and Facebook probably done took my whole Facebook page down. I doubt that they're going to even show this video here. They're not going to. You see, the wicked have always been the wicked. And the sooner we as black people understand that most of these people don't give a damn about you. I'm not talking about here in Valdosta now. I'm talking about throughout the whole diaspora of the earth plane. Because they know your history better than you do. You don't know the greatness of who you are. The white people know your history. And if they know your history, guess what? They know theirs too. And they know that according to scriptures and the lost books of the Bible and the forgotten books of Eden, which I read and they told me not to read, their time is up. And they know it. That's why they're doing what they're doing. They know they're fighting against God, and they know they're going to lose. But just remember what the old saying is. You can't lose with the stuff God used. And I'm asking you black folk, as you go into this year, stop fighting all these wars on the battlefield. Yeah, y'all fighting all these wars on the battlefield, talking about the enemy, talking about the devil, and how he fighting against you. Going on out there on the battlefield. Many of you all discovering now when you look around, you don't see no enemy and you don't see no devil. The only person you see out there is you. That's because you are your own devil and you are your worst enemy when you fail to love and respect each other and take care of your children. Pull your damn pants up. But if you leave your pants down, at least pull your mind up. Bye-bye, we're gone.